day, everyone. This is Polyp Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at latest news in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey now, everybody. How's it going?
Hello there, Drek. How are things going over in Ravenloft?
Same mists, different day.
You need an anti-fog machine there, I guess.
Need lots of things here. That is a good start, though.
All right. Well, let's head into a discussion on Update 59, which is the latest update in Dungeons & Dragons Online, something about the Droam.
Yes, we kind of talked about this when it was on Lamania. It is now live. The Droam Legendary Edition is over on the server. So what does that mean exactly? Just what it says in the title, Droam Legendary Edition. The attack on Stormreach is now all legendarified. Not sure how I want to word that. Attack on Stormreach, the Assault on Summerfield, Blockade Buster, Undermine, Siege Rigger, and the Free Quest, Diplomatic Impunity, Framework, and Eyes of Stone all have their legendary difficulties. So go forth and kill Minotaurs in Legendary, I guess. I don't know.
And frame a Medusa for it.
Sure, yeah. It's always the Medusa's fault. Always. We also have performance work. Once again, we talked about this previously, so we're not going to go too in-depth on this, but they have fundamentally changed how bonuses are calculated behind the scenes to be using a more performant algorithm. That is a very fancy way of saying they tried to reduce some lag in the game by making some changes in the background. So if it's a bonus, more than likely it's being calculated differently now. Should help with the lag in the game, and I know anecdotally, the little bit that I played after this update, I did notice it looked like to me lag was better. I still got a lag spike, but it wasn't as often, and it was only one, and it didn't lag in some other places where it usually lags. So maybe this is helping. I guess your miles may vary. Once again, lag is never actually ever going to go away totally. It's just not feasible to say we're never going to have lag is totally fixed, but they're doing little things like this to try and fix it, help it, make it better. So
yeah, I know Bordovan said that lag is caused by all sorts of things, all various types of things, and he says the least likely thing to be causing lag is lag.
Right, exactly.
I understand what he means by that.
Yeah, nope, that's exactly it. That is the best way of putting it, actually. So yeah, so like I said, go check it out. Let us know if you notice any differences. Like I said, I've only played one time since this update, and it seemed a little better to me. Like I said, I had one really bad lag spike, but I usually get a couple of those when I'm playing. So there's that, I guess. Also, there is some bug fixes included in this. They implemented a fix intended to address some crashing issues related to sounds. Level 32 skill augments now grant their listed benefits. And we pretty much talked about all these. There was a couple I wanted to point out that I don't remember if we talked about or not, but of course now I can't find them. Oh, here it is. In the UI of the game, any chest that is locked, but you can pick it, will now display a lock visual effect over the chest. So literally there is a lock that shows up above the chest.
The lock shows up above the chest if you're able to pick it.
Yes, so and anybody can see that. Also, with traps and secret doors, if there is a trap present and a rogue has seen the trap, there will be an exclamation point that everybody can see. If there's a secret door, there'll be a question mark. So it was kind of off-putting at first, but then I'm like, okay, I get it. It'll make it a lot easier when, like, say we're playing and I usually go ahead because I'm the person that does the traps or what have you. And instead of saying, hold up, there's a trap here, you're going to see that little exclamation point and you're going to think, oh, wait, there must be a trap up there.
Yeah, but usually when you find a trap, I thought I usually wind up seeing an outline of the trap anyway.
You do most of the time if you're close enough. Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of weird. Like I said, it was. I had forgot they were implementing this, and when I was playing last Friday, it was like, why is there this weird exclamation point? And then I'm like, oh, gotcha. So yeah. So I don't know. Okay, that's kind of weird. But you can go over and read like the full patch notes. Not much has changed since we talked about it last episode when it was on the Mania. So see that show for an in-depth talk on this. But you can go into the show notes and get a link over to read the full show notes. There is a bug though that they are working on. Some of the wilderness areas are not actually working. They're not giving XP currently.
Ouch.
So if you're out doing slayers and stuff, you're doing it all for naught. You're not getting any credit for it. They are working on that. Hopefully there will be a fix implemented this week to fix that. I guess that was part of something they changed in this patch, had a halo effect, and it broke that. And then last week, you may have been aware there was an issue with the 32-bit client. If you were running the 32-bit client, you couldn't log in the game at all. They fixed that now.
Oh, that's a little bit. Well, I knew that they were trying to deprecate the 32-bit client, but that was a little
yeah, that's a big way of doing it. It's like, hey, guess what? You're not going to log in until you use the 64-bit. But yeah, I mean, if you're using 32-bit, you might want to think about upgrading to the 64-bit client, because pretty soon you might not have a choice. You're going to have to run it because 32-bit is slowly becoming a dying architecture. So
actually, I'm trying to remember which one I'm using. I guess I'll find out soon enough.
Yeah. I guess we'll find out.
No, I don't think I had as much cost to use the 32-bit in DDO as I had in Lotro.
Oh, I had Lotro did that. I think Lotro did it first, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
If I remember right, correct now.
Yeah, it's just that Lotro has the annoying... Because in Lotro, I often change servers. And it was a much more of a pain to change servers in the 64-bit client than it is in the 32-bit client.
Now, is that the same in DDO? Or
I don't know if it's the same in DDO. I can't remember if it's the same in DDO, but I know that was a problem in Lotro. It's just that in DDO, I don't go around changing servers. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Because what happens is that whenever I log out in the 64-bit client, at least in Lotro, what happens is that it closes everything. The launcher closes down to the login screen.
Oh, okay.
As opposed to putting in, and the 32-bit client would put you into the select server screen.
Oh, gotcha. So there you go. Update 59 out now. So go play Droem at Legendary if you're of that level.
Yeah, just don't worry about wilderness.
Yeah, I would probably hold off on doing any wilderness slayers, at least until the picks.
All right, and then let's see about the forums, because yes, for both of the games for Sandstone Games, they are planning on coming out for some new forums, new, improved, better than ever, and make sure you get your username quickly.
Yay! Yeah, that's gonna be... I mean, I'm hoping people aren't gonna be dicks and steal people's names, but we'll see. I would hope. I think the community is pretty much cooler than that, but...
Yeah, the biggest challenge would be if you have two players from two different servers who are known by that name.
Yeah, that is true, I guess.
That's where the conflict's most likely going to happen.
I could see that, but I guess we'll see, because we're on track for Wednesday is when the new forum rollout is going to happen. Quarterman did post over on the old forums, I guess we'll call them, RIP DDO forums. We knew you well. We are almost ready to debut the new forums. It's been a long time coming, and we can't wait for you to check them out. They are replacing the old, very outdated forums, which is true, and we will offer many new features, improved experiences for all users. However, we need to do a start fresh with new forums account, as it was impractical and unwise to try to retrofit the problem-plagued forum system into the new forums. So here is how it's going to work. On or around May 3rd, which Quarterman did post today that they are still on track for that, they are going to bring the forums offline while they do the transition work. You can expect a formal announcement on timing in the near future. Once the new forums are ready to open, they will place the existing forums into a read-only state for the long term. So they're still going to be there. You can still go visit them. You just can't interact with them at all. You can just read them. As I said, you're going to be able to view it, but not log in to post or do anything else with the forums. Just as you do now, you will log into the new forums using the same username and password that you used to log into the game Each forum account will be tied to your game account. We expect a busy couple of days as players will initially log into the forums, pick their usernames, profile, avatars, signatures, and much more. Your existing forum name does not automatically carry over, so please log in at your earliest convenience if you wish to try to retain your existing forum name. Boo. Once again, people, listen to Will Wheaton. Don't be a dick, okay? Be cool about this. They do say that they will work with players who feel that their name has been improperly taken by somebody else. So if anybody out there steals Draculetta, I will come for you. I am just saying. Just like that person over on Orion that has Draculetta, I will come for you.
Well, actually, for some people, if they came into the game really, really early and had not really chosen the name that they really like using in game and the like, and they've been using this one name in the game and all that stuff, and another game in the forums, because in the forums, once you had a name, you were stuck with that name whether you liked it or not.
That is true. That is true. So, I mean, well, see, like I said, the DDO community as a whole is pretty cool. So I don't foresee this being an issue.
Right.
Now that I say that, watch it be a total cluster F, but I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. There are a few ways the new forums are going to be a little different. The Deb tracker is no more. It is now the staff tracker.
Well, that's more accurate.
It is. It is. So yeah, that makes sense. And there is also a new post to thread button that's going to be at the top of the main page that is going to let you post to any forum that you can post in. So that's kind of cool. You don't actually have to go into a specific subforum to post. If you have access to post in that forum, you can just do it from the main page and not have to go into the subforum, which I like.
Okay, that probably depends, but whether or not you do it that way, it probably depends on the type of thread. Because there's some threads where it might be a good idea to see if it's already under discussion.
Well, that is true. Yeah, that's true. I could see that being a nightmare. I didn't think about that. But there's also going to be a new spoiler text hider. So if you're talking about, something that happens in a new quest or something that just came out, you can do the spoiler tag. And then I'm assuming it's going to be like most other spoiler tags. You'll have to highlight your mouse over that to actually read it. I assume that's how that's going to work. That's how most of them work.
All right. So therefore, if you wanted to post a spoiler on Kill 10 Rats, then you can put this stuff into there. And
right.
Where you say that you'll be meeting rats, then you
right.
That into spoiler text, yes.
And spoiler, you're killing them.
Yes.
New list options, some new header options, new smiles and other
emoticons.
Yeah, emoticons. Thank you. I totally spaced out. I was looking at it and I'm like, how do I say that word? It was not coming to me. It probably might be what I'm drinking, but we won't discuss that. Wider compatibility with video sites like Twitch, Twitter, Venmo, YouTube, Flix, Dailymotion, Apple Music, and more. Okay, I'm not sure why they included Apple Music there, but sure, whatever. So basically, if you want to do some multimedia post, it's going to be easier to do that now. Better table formatting, the ability to save and delete drafts, which that's kind of cool too. Better previewing of your post, and a watch this thread, and a toggle on and off email notifications. So that is cool, because now the watch this thread button because I've done that a couple times, it doesn't work real well. It works some of the time. So you can also do polls, yada, yada, yada. Who cares? You can do a question post, which is going to offer you the ability for posters and readers to vote on what they think is the best answer given so far. The highest voted answers will be prominently featured below the initial post. Think the way that Reddit or Quora does this. The initial poster can also pause voting on solutions. Okay, that's kind of cool. One big thing with your profile now on the new forums is your profile is now going to be able to feature an image profile banner and the ability to update and maintain a posting feed. This will give you some options, as in the regular discussion post, just for your own profile page. So you can maintain a blog, keep a public record, track your progress, give your friends a permanent URL to get the latest news from you, give your best screenshots, images, etc., etc. So there you go. And there's also going to be new custom avatars and gravatars will now be available. You can pick what you want within the limits of system and community rules, of course.
Oh.
And then a few other changes. You can go over and read the full post over in the forums. We'll link it in the show notes. But new forums coming this Wednesday as of right now. That's the latest update. They should be here Wednesday.
Oh, let's hope that they have a smooth launch day.
We can always hope.
Then let's head into what's coming in from the dungeon. Where we have the least surprising new role-playing game announcement ever.
Exactly. But what is surprising, the amount of miniatures that are going to be included in this dang thing.
Oh, okay, that's right. I guess that the game isn't exactly known for having huge numbers of miniatures.
True.
Except for the PCs, of course.
We're talking about Gloomhaven, the role-playing game. It is a open-world tabletop role-playing game, of course, based on the series of award-winning board games, Gloomhaven and Frosthaven. Also, Jaws of the Lion, if you want to count that. Technically, that's Gloomhaven, but think of it as Gloomhaven Light. The RPG world will expand on the world created by Isaac Childress, of course, the creator behind the Gloomhaven. This is going to launch over on crowdfunding. They're going to use BackerKit, so not a Kickstarter. It's going to be a BackerKit project. The June 20th is going to be the launch date. 600 miniatures are going to be available for this. And the miniatures that are available, you can use them in the board game as well. So if you don't want to use the little stand-ups that normally come in the board game, you can switch over to miniatures. Yeah, over 600 miniatures. There is a crap ton of miniatures.
Is there going to be a version of the game that's going to have standees instead of miniatures if you don't want 600 miniatures?
I would assume so, yes. I mean, I would usually that is the case. They haven't said as of yet that you can do that, but I would almost guarantee you they're going to have a version without miniatures.
Yeah, because 600 miniatures is a bit expensive.
It's insane. The core miniature set itself is going to include 250, and then there's going to be the rest are all going to be different add-ons you can add on to get. But if you want the full set to really get the full Gloomhaven, Frosthaven experience, 600 miniatures. I fathom to guess how much this dang thing is going to cost. I'm guessing, I'm going to put it out there right now, the all-in pledge. If you want the 600 miniatures, you want the game, whatever options they're going to give you, it's going to be at least 250, 300. I'm saying easily.
I'm just wondering, okay, so how many millions of dollars are they shooting for on this one?
That is the next question. I was going to bring that up. How much do we think this is going to make? Because I can almost guarantee you this thing is going to fund in seconds.
Well, yes.
It's going to launch and fund like immediately. And then let's see, Frosthaven did what, 7 million, I think it was. I can't remember for sure. It seems like Frosthaven was 7. Gloomhaven, I would have to look it up. I don't remember what Gloomhaven made. I bet you this is going to be one of the biggest Kickstarters ever. Or see, it's not Kickstarter though. It's BackerKit. But still, it's going to make a crap ton of money. It's going to make more money than probably any other crowdfunded game has ever made, I would just assume.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what is the high. Okay, see, Frosthaven is the 4th highest money-making Kickstarter.
And it was like 7 million, right?
12.97.
Oh, it did. Oh, I was way wrong then. Number 1 used to be Kingdom Death Monster. Is that still whatever you're looking at?
That is 2 places behind Frosthaven.
Oh, wow. No, that can't be right.
Now, I'm talking about all Kickstarters, not just games.
Oh, not just board games. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I think all the other, because the other 4 items, I don't think any of those are. I don't know what Pebble Time is. So
that was a watch, like a smartwatch.
Okay, there's a smartwatch, and then the other one that's above King Dead Month is Pebble 2, which I presume is
which was the newer version of that smartwatch, yeah.
Right. And of course, number 1 is Brandon Sanderson's novels.
Oh, I did forget those made a crap ton of money. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Gloomhaven, role-playing game. They have not really talked about this at all, other than think what you do in Gloomhaven, you're going to be able to do it in the game. It's going to have 16 classes, like I said, the 600 miniatures, eight ancestries to choose from. You're going to be given, which they're calling it the DM is going to be called the Gloom Master, which cracks me up. You're going to be given the knowledge, lore, and tools to create your own custom campaigns, combat, and encounters, NPCs, and much more. So basically, it's going to be your standard RPG. It is going to use the card system that the game uses. So it's going to be diceless. They did say that, which is kind of interesting.
That's consistent with...
Yeah, I would kind of like to see how they pull that off. But yeah, I'm interested in this. I'm going to watch this, but I'm sure it's going to be a ton of money. It's going to be super expensive. Maybe the base pledge won't be too bad, but like if you want that all-in Granddaddy 600 miniature pledge, it's going to be prepared to sell a longer kidney or something along those lines.
But it's going to have, well, lots of cards, a big book, and you'll see what else comes. And of course, if you get the miniature options, lots and lots of miniatures.
Lots of miniatures. Yep. So June 20th over on BackerKit. I'm sure we will talk about it when it launches and the crazy price tag that goes along with it. So, but right. Gloomhaven, the role-playing game, coming to BackerKit on June 20th.
Then also, Paizo has revealed their Pathfinder 2nd Edition remaster project, and are they remastering a 2nd edition, or is the 2nd edition a remastering?
Don't understand this. I don't understand this. I really would like for somebody to explain to me what the heck Paizo is doing with this. Yeah, they are going to refresh the books. So they're going to reprint updated editions of the Pathfinder 2e core rulebooks as an entry point for new players. This was kind of spurred on by the fact that during the whole OGL kerfuffle, Paizo ran out of Pathfinder 2e core rulebooks. They sold out and they had to do a reprint. So instead of just doing a straight, hey, we're just going to reprint this, they're going to do this refresh. They did point out that it is a remastering of the current Pathfinder 2e rulebooks. They are going to be completely compatible with the current Pathfinder 2e products. So you're just going to have two versions of Pathfinder 2nd edition. You're going to have the remastered and then the old 2nd edition books. So if you happen to find one of the older books, like you're in like half price books or something like that, and you see like the monster book, you can buy that for the first printing of the 2nd edition and use it with like your player's handbook if you have the remastered. It's so confusing and it's so weird to me what they're doing here. The remastered versions of these are going to include some rules updates and comprehensive errata. So they're basically just reprinting it, but they're updating it with, rules fixes, rules updates, errata that they discovered. I don't know. This is so weird to me, but November 2023 is when the player core book comes out, and the GM book will come out November 2023 as well. And then in March of 2024, the Monster Core book and the Player Core book 2 will be released. All these are going to be released as hardcovers. I'm assuming eventually the soft covers will come as well, like they have done before. They haven't said that for sure. But yeah, I don't know. This is so weird to me. This, like, I read this press release and I'm just like, huh? I don't understand Paizo's thinking in this. Like, if you're going to do a reprint, just do a reprint. Don't call it a remaster and don't say it's compatible with your two, because it's just going to be confusing to people. Because they're going to see two versions of your rulebook out there, but both are going to be for 2nd edition, but yet, I don't know. It's weird. This is weird to me, but there you go. More Pathfinder 2nd edition with new updated rules, I guess. Somebody explain this to me because I don't get it at all.
Let's head on.
That's the same.
Not worry about it.
That's the same thing I had. I was just like, okay, cool, I guess. But anyway, there you go.
Right.
Rant over.
Let's head on to the tabletop. where apparently some YouTuber decided, let's go and leak some upcoming Magic cards, and Hasbro's response to this was to call Pinkerton.
Yeah. In the what dumb shit has WOTC Hasbro done this week? Here we go. Yeah. Well, in this guy's defense, he didn't realize he was leaking any cards.
What?
It's a weird story. So
yeah, how do you leak cards without knowing that you're doing it?
So grab a drink, sit down, let's chat about this. Earlier this month, there was a YouTuber. He goes by Old School Magic the Gathering. Apparently, he's like pretty big in the Magic community. He does like a lot of Magic streams and a lot of Magic videos. He posted he was going to unbox some of these new expansions for the March of the Machines, the Aftermath set.
Okay.
So he had 22 boxes of these that he purchased. The important part of the story is he purchased these. He didn't say where he purchased them from, but I would assume it would have been a game store or something of that nature. Anyway, he purchased...
Ooh, that game store is going to be very in trouble because...
Yes. He purchased these. That is the important equation to the story. He started opening these on video. Well, problem was the actual set that he has were one of the unreleased sets for this expansion that nobody really knew about yet. So he showed off about 75% of the entire set. So about 36 of the set's 50 cards. It is scheduled to be released on May 12th. Official reveals were going to start here soon. WOTC was going to start showing off these cards pretty soon. So needless to say, Hasbro/Wizards didn't take too kindly to this. So what did they do? Like, if you were an evil corporation, Pinely, such as Hasbro WOTC, what would you do in this case? Well, would you just tell me. Pineleaf runs an evil corporation. How would you handle if somebody is showing off some unreleased cards on a YouTube video?
Let's see. I'm just trying to think if calling Pinkertons is what you are...
Yeah, no, probably not the first choice. I would probably, send an email to the guy and say, hey, yeah, like, hey, dude, maybe let's not show these. Maybe we want to know how you got a hold of these because this is not cool, right? Yeah, no, that is not what they did at all. They sent 2 detectives from the Pinkerton Detective Agency to the guy's house. They showed up, knocked on the door, and as he explains it, he says, I got up after doing some videos, recording some videos and the like. Right after I got done with a couple of my videos, my dog started barking and my wife started yelling somebody was at the door. I came out to my wife answering the door and it was the Pinkertons. Yes, the Pinkerton Detective Agency. That Pinkertons. If you're not familiar with them, check them out. They're kind of a big deal, as he says, which, yeah, they are. They're, one of the largest private security firms in the world. Big, heavy hitter guys. Yeah.
There's even a Conan Doyle story where Sherlock Holmes works with the Pinkertons in it.
Yes. So they came up and, basically said, you got stolen stuff, hand it over, or we rough you up. I mean, I don't know if they said that or not. I'm just saying.
They probably interrogated him.
I'm sure.
Where he got the cards from.
Yeah. So, but WOTC did, for their part, say they did get all of the cards back. They replaced this guy's set with the cards that he is supposed to have, and they are looking into the matter to find out exactly how he got these unreleased cards.
Oh, you think that it looked like that he bought one set and he wanted getting a different one instead?
I guess from what I'm not a Magic guy,
right?
So I don't know exactly how this works, but apparently there's 2 different versions of this set. There's this March of the Machine set. There's 2 different versions. There's one that is everybody kind of knows about and knows most of the cards, and then there's this other set that he showed off that is like the premium edition of the set. Okay. So that's the one that is like secret right now. Nobody really knows much about it, and that's the one that he was showing off. So apparently they did send him a set of the other ones, but I don't know. So yeah, it's just a weird story. It's just like there's much better ways they could have went about this, but here we are. So watch what you do to Hasbro Wizards, because Pinkertons might show up at your door. Just saying.
That I'd say that still isn't as bad as what happened one time to Steve Jackson Games.
This is true.
Yes.
Full on raid. That's I would say Pinkertons ain't that bad compared to a whole on raid. Sure.
Especially when that raid was done by the Secret Service.
Yeah.
All right. Then let's head on to Gen Con news. For Gen Con Indy 2023, the event catalog is coming out May 7th. That's 4 days?
Yes, that is actually in just a few days. Let's see, that would be Sunday, I do believe. So this Sunday, the event catalog you can pursue and see what events you can sign up for and add them to your wish list, and then get disappointed when you get into the queue and you're like 1 million in the queue and all the crap is sold out by the time you get to it. But hey, that's the fun of Gen Con, isn't it? So yeah, just to remember, when the event registration happens, this is not the registration. This is just the catalog, so you can actually see events that have been added. This is not the full list, because they continue to add stuff after this. Remember that as well if you're new to Gen Con. Basically, you need to have your badge. Then you can build your wish list. Once you got your badge, you can actually go on, log in on the site, look at the event catalog. You see something, it's like, hey, that sounds like a cool RPG. I'd like to play that. You can wish list it. And then once you have your wish list built, once event registration starts, you can just say process wish list, and it will go through that wish list and it will try to get you tickets for all the events that you want. And you never get them, but that's neither here nor there. Event registration itself will open May 21st at noon. So good luck all. Good luck one and all. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, May 7th, so this Sunday, the catalog opens. You can see the events. 21st is when registration opens.
Yeah. Well, it announces Cavalry Unit and Companion app for Conquest. It looks like a rather fancy Cavalry Unit.
These are sweet looking. It's been a while since we talked about Conquest, but spoiler alert, we need the cool little forum spoiler alert thing here. We're probably going to start talking about Conquest a lot, because I'm going to start playing this with one of my friends. So you're going to hear about Conquest a lot. If you're not familiar with what Conquest is, it is a miniature war game. Easily for 2 people. You can play with more than 2, but it plays pretty well at 2. There's 2 different versions of it. You can do like a skirmish, or you can do like a full-on campaign type deal. So think, if you're familiar with any miniature war game, that's what this is. But these miniatures are freaking sweet. If you're watching the YouTube version, you see in the Order of the Ashen Dawn, it is a heavy cavalry unit. This is going to be for Conquest. It's going to be for both versions of the game. If you're playing the First Blood version of the game, this is considered an officer. If you play the game, that makes sense what that is. These are going to have 3 sets of cavalry bases, your stands, and the 3 command cards. Rules are going to allow for fast movement across the fields, and also ability to break even the sturdiest of defenses with a charge. The miniatures in the new order are a little bit larger than other cavalry units. And that is a hard word to say for me.
You got to be careful, because cavalry and cowardly sound so close together.
That is true. They do. They feature glistening armor. I like how they say that. For the horses and the riders, it is going to be accompanied by some updated scenarios for the 100 Kingdoms army as well. MSRP on these figures is $69. Keep in mind, if you're watching the YouTube version of this and you're seeing these on the screen, or you're over on the site now as we're talking about this, looking at the article that I put up, these come unpainted, so yours aren't going to look like this. If you wanted to make them cool like this, you're going to have to paint them. So just keep that in mind. Also, but wait, there's more Conquest news. Parabellum also did announce they're going to have a free mobile companion app for Conquest come out. The Conquest Companion app, good name. It's going to allow players to create, store, and manage their army list on the go. Also going to allow you for some real-time rules updates, as current rule sets are available by by scanning any QR code on the command card, which is kind of cool as well. The base app itself is going to be free. And guess what? There's no in-app purchases. And Parabellum does say no data is collected as well. So that's kind of cool. So some Conquest news for you. As I said, it's been a while since we talked about Conquest. Probably last Gen Con, maybe. It's about the last time we talked about it.
That's it for what's on the gaming tabletop. So let's head into our week in gaming. And Drac, what were you up to?
Well, not a lot. Did a little bit. I played a little DDO Friday evening. Evil Beaker and I played over on Kyber. We did the House Kandaric quest. We did the Lair of Summoning, Chamber of Insanity, Ruin Halls, and the Forgotten Caverns. We ran all of those on Reaper 1. Basically, we're just trying to get House K favor to get the bank spots. Is really why we picked those series of quests to do. And that's all I did in DDO. Hopefully more DDO in my future. I hope. Life, you know how it is. Did play some tabletop, though. Played South Park Munchkin. So if you're familiar with Munchkin, it's Munchkin, but it's set in the South Park universe. So if you're familiar with South Park, all of South Park applies. That was super.
South Park applies. Anything
that was
inappropriate
super fun.
you can think of. Yes.
Exactly. There's a lot of inappropriate stuff, which is great because it's South Park. So, which is why my friends and I really enjoyed playing it. Plus, the bourbon probably helped too, but that's besides the point. We also played Return to Dark Tower, which I was so excited to get this to the table. I did the Kickstarter and then never opened it, to be honest.
Oh.
So it said unopened. So we actually got to play that. We did the first scenario. Works super well. Tower is amazing. It works great. My only complaint with it was, I don't know. I swear I used brand new batteries, but by the time we were done, the tower was telling me that the batteries were low. Okay. So I swear I put some brand new batteries in the thing because I had to take them out of plastic. So I'm hoping it was just something weird with the batteries, because if not, that thing is going to eat batteries like candy. Because we only did like the first scenario, and it was saying that the batteries were low. So if I have never played the original Dark Tower, so I don't know how they changed the game, but it is super easy to learn and pick up. We read the rule book, we watched a how to play video, and the hardest part of the whole thing was just setting it up and unpunching everything because I hadn't opened mine yet. But rules, gameplay, super fun game. I'm going to try it solo to see how it works solo as well, because there is solo rules for it. But I am definitely looking forward to playing that some more. And then we played G.I. Joe Mission Critical. I know we have talked about Mission Critical on the show before, so I will spare some of my thoughts on this. All I'm going to say is I would like to congratulate Renegade Games for having one of the worst rule books in the history of gaming.
Really?
You don't understand how bad this rulebook is, plainly. This rulebook is so bad, you go to watch how to play videos on YouTube,
right,
to try to figure out how to play this stupid game correctly. They're playing different rules than what's in the rulebook because they don't even know how to play it correctly. So I'm like, okay, Renegade themselves has a how to play video. So let's look at that. Okay, number one, Renegade. If you're listening, which I highly doubt you are, but if you are, don't make your freaking how to play video 3 hours long. What? No. So yeah, I sat through some of that video. I didn't watch it all. They were doing stuff wasn't in the rule book. I'm like, what are they doing? That is not in the why are they doing that? That is not in the rule book. So then my friend goes on Renegade's site, downloads the rule book from Renegade themselves. He's like looking through the PDF that he downloaded, and he's like, dude, this is totally different than the one that's in the book or the box. And I'm like, what the heck, man? So yeah, so we still don't know if we're playing it right. We think we're playing it pretty close to right, but I'm gonna look at this new one that is on the website to see. But yeah, it's so congratulations, Renegade. You have a crappy rulebook.
Oh, well.
So crappy, people can't even figure out how to play your game in videos right, and they're just making up rules, I think.
Oh, well.
But
What you need is you need to follow the Klingon subtitles to see if there are any corrections.
need to do something. But yeah, so anyway, so we're probably going to try it again. It's an okay game. I would kind of like to know that we're playing it correct, because if we're not playing it correct, it is impossible to win. If we are playing it correct, oh my God, this game is so dang hard. So we'll see. We're going to definitely play it again. Like I said, I'm going to download that other new rulebook and read it and see. I just don't understand. It's like, how can you have a rulebook so bad? And then another thing about it that really annoys me is this is based off of a Power Rangers game. I forgot the name of the game. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They basically took that Power Rangers game and tweaked it a little bit and turned it into the G.I. Joe game. So it plays very familiar like to the Power Rangers game. And in a couple of the videos I was finding, people were saying, hey, if you're familiar with the Power Rangers, I think it's Heroes of the Grid, I think is the name of the Power Rangers game. They're like, if you're familiar with this game, this is going to be easy to pick up and you'll know what to do. And I'm screaming at my TV, but what if you're not familiar with that Power Rangers game? Like, don't have a whole other IP game come out that is suited towards people that love G.I. Joe and then say, you know, it'll really help if you play this other game first. That has nothing to do with this game, but it will make more sense if you play this other game first. No, don't do that. It's a bad look. Anyway, sorry. That was 3 Drac rants in one show. I don't know if we can have it.
Wow.
That's probably a record, I think.
Yeah, be careful. Someone might send Pinkertons at you.
Yeah, they might. Pinkertons are at the door now, I think. So you better hurry up and get your weekend real quick.
All right. My week is in DDO. I accepted an invitation to dinner from the local lord, and I wasn't sure whether I was invited to eat dinner or to be dinner. But anyway, I did, of course, eventually get out of the castle in there. Now, I came up with a really, really bright idea at the end of this, because I was up there way in the North Tower, and the exit was right at the entrance, at the main entrance.
Okay.
So I thought, well, I know exactly what to do here. I will cast D-Door.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean,
it makes sense until you
good
remember
thought logic.
Yes, it makes sense until you remember that there are a bunch of gargoyles who are sitting there waiting to attack whoever comes into the area.
Oh, forgot about the gargoyles. Yeah. Yeah. Oopsie.
Oopsie. Well, so that was a little bit of a problem that I had there. And what I eventually do from that, I think I wound up eating that character's cake and managed to get back into the night, trying to figure out, okay, how do I get my cleric back or something like this? I think I eventually was able to snipe off the gargoyles one by one from a distance by pulling each one. And once I got them down, I was able to get my NPC back and get out of the area. So yes. Rule number 1 is, if your exit in invitation to dinner is at the entrance, don't D-door there. Unless you're really, really ready and powerful and can handle an ambush fight, because I instantly got ambushed and I had no idea what was going on for a moment. So yeah, that was bad. Then I also started playing a new game called Dinkum. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
I have not, but I have seen you on Steam playing this.
Right.
And I was going to ask you, what the heck is this game that you're playing?
All right. You can think of it as it's a town building game, I guess is the best way of putting it. Not in the way of city managing it, but you're someone coming in who's coming in to live in this area. Some people they think of it as a crossing of Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing. I'm not familiar with enough with Animal Crossing to know in any way whatsoever how fitting that is. But it also, there's a lot of farming that you could do in there. You're going from an urban area into a more rural area. So you're starting to build this village on this island in here by attracting members of the community and stuff like this. And so you're slowly adding shopkeepers as you go along there, so you get more and more services in there. And one of them is, those shopkeepers is an inventor. So you start out with most very, very basic type things, and eventually you start to add contraptions and the like as you're going through in there. And so I'm just in the early stages of this. And one of the weird things that you've got in here is that, strangely enough, one of the best ways of making money I've found so far is catching bugs.
Okay.
Yes, and that I'm in the springtime right now. And as you can imagine, during the springtime, there are butterflies all over the place.
Well, one would think, yes.
One more thing. So, yes, I've been catching a lot of butterflies the last few days. And one of the other things about this game is that at first, because I saw the way the crafting system works and stuff like this, I was wondering, thinking maybe it's similar to Don't Starve. But while Don't Starve is about as vicious a game as you can get, I don't know how familiar you are with Don't Starve.
I played it a couple times.
Yeah, so you know there are about 6 billion ways to get yourself killed.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so we don't have 6 billion ways in order to get yourself killed in this game. And in fact, that when you get killed, they call that you passed out and you appear back in your bed the following day, and you recover from your wounds.
Okay.
So it's definitely not a roguelike or anything like that. So you're looking for
Well,
a roguelike,
definitely not.
Yeah, yeah.
Elden
Right.
Ring, it is not.
Yeah, Elden Ring is definitely not Elden Ring. And the other thing to note is that the climate is very, very much Australia.
Okay.
Which means that this bitterly cold place that you came from is to the south because you're in Australia. So therefore the cold Antarctica is to the south in there. And in fact, if it's so cold there, you leave that area. You leave South City when it is snowing. So you think it's in the middle of the winter, right? And you get to the island that you're going to, and it's summer. Either it took you 6 months to get there, or that place is so far south it's snowing all year long.
So is this set in like real world, or is it like a quote unquote fantasy world?
It's a fictional,
Okay.
The animals all have, slightly different names to them, but it's obvious. It's like, for example, the jackaroos, it seems to be a cross between jackalopes and kangaroos, for example.
Okay. All right. I gotcha.
But all the fauna is pretty much based on something you'll find in Australia.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying it's very, very much in that type of climate in there, especially since we went through this winter. In Don't Starve, winters are deep, cold, bitter, and all of that. In this game, no. It doesn't snow. It doesn't get below freezing ever. That's what I'm saying. Australia.
Makes sense.
Yes. So I think maybe the developers might be from Australia, which could explain the style and everything in it. But anyway, so in some ways there's a little bit of a survival element, but that's not really the strong thing that they're pushing. It's more like building community and the like that's going in through there, and trying to gather resources and farming and stuff like that are going into there. And of course, you're trying to convince these people that this is a great place to live, and this is a great place, and you can make plenty of money from the townspeople here, so you can set up a shop here and all of that stuff.
Sounds interesting.
Anyway, so I've been playing that quite a bit over the last few days. And that's it for my week in gaming. We are currently have 14 supporters on Patreon. And if you'd like to help support DDO players, you go to the donations page and support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money be used for our podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live show. And if you'd like to send an email, you can send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. And DDO Players, we record 2 shows each week. On Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. That's the last time we actually recorded on Wednesdays.
Yeah, well,
No, Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, via Lotra Players News. You can join us for our shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight. And this is Pod Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.